Hey guys, and welcome back. So we're kind of winding down the summer season, and it has been hot. It's been, in some parts of the world, record-breaking. And here in Korea, we have this supposed old wives' tale, or this myth of Korean fan death, where there's this old theory and story that's been circulating around for decades that says if you leave a fan on in your room at night and if you fall asleep, you might die. So especially if you leave the windows closed and if you leave your door closed. And so it's the only country in the world, apparently, that if you have like a sealed room and if you have like a oscillating fan or even like a fixed fan, just like the old before air conditioners, like the spinning fan, if you leave that on at night, you might just pass out and never come back. And so how come we haven't heard about any of those types of cases this summer? Or maybe in the recent past? Now, if you look it up on Google, you'll find some in the past few years, like 2015 to maybe 2018, some, quirky hipster like articles in like The Atlantic or NPR covering, how quirky this is about Korea. But all of them fail to really get down to where do we think the Seoulite crowd, do we think that these stories have come from natural causes? No, there is a perfectly logical explanation for these cases, and that's what we're going to go over. Plus, we're going to go over this whole like mint chocolate boom that's been taking over Korea right now. Alright, so we're going to have to first start with the tea because we always give you the tea, right? So this is like mint chocolate Choco Latte. I don't know. One of you guys in the comments said that there's like mint chocolate fried chicken, and I was just like, that is so disgusting, but so intriguing, right? We totally have to look it up. And it turns out that that is like super rare. That was just like somebody on a blog post said that you could get it maybe somewhere in Seoul, but it's not a common thing. But everything else, like all the packaged goods, it's been a trend. So we are going to try honey almond, mint chocolate, chocolate mint chocolates, cookies, choco pies, the ice cream, and even some soju that's mint chocolate. So let's start with this. The box is so luxurious. It feels like rubberized. Kanu by Maxim. They finally figured it out a few years ago how to get people to pay a lot of money for instant coffee. All right, let's mix. Ooh. I don't know. This is gonna be like hot chocolate though. I don't know. We're gonna have to stir this and talk about it. Alright, so let's see if I can stir and talk and not like mess up my computer at the same time, and watch how my cat doesn't maybe mess things up. So, fan death theory, right? Now, alright, let's give you the conclusion first and then work our way back. Convenient theory to essentially put the blame, it's a Jason theory, put the blame of a death on a fan. You kill somebody, you blame the fan. Now, who's gonna believe that, right? But the first time it was used was like in the 1920s, apparently. So back then, fans were new. And like, I think even in America, people didn't really like know what these like contraptions were and like what the health effects were. So people were willing to believe anything, and especially in Korea. So there were these like old articles saying that, these fans like can cause like some sort of like wind tunnels and suffocation and, like their language even back then was different. Like they give you the vapors or something, strange, where basically like, your spirits will be knocked out. Even like achoo, like when you sneeze, God bless you. It's like kind of like your spirit comes out when you sneeze. So they basically put the blame on the fan. So think about it. When the door is closed, when the windows are closed, when nobody is a witness to somebody maybe choking you, when you can't breathe, when you get choked, when somebody puts a pillow probably over your face, when somebody doesn't want you to live anymore, and somebody was like, how did they die and suffocate? It was the fan. Boom. Somebody got an inheritance. Boom. Somebody can't talk after maybe being like sexually assaulted or something. Boom. Somebody who was like a witness to something no longer can talk. All these instances can be resolved by blaming a fan. How convenient. And if you get away with this enough times, and if people are willing to believe a fan, well, then I guess in Korea it kept going and going and going, and it seemed like the police were willing to just say fan death, fan death. Oh, I guess people are believing this fan death. Okay, give me some fan death, fan death, fan death, fan death. And I think it's been a real tragedy how we've just been kind of thinking that, oh, how cute, how funny. Oh, this is just a part of quirky Korean culture, that we've believed that fan death is just a kind of old wives' tale or some sort of like inexplicable kind of thing that we've passed down in Korean culture, when in fact it probably has a very sinister, dark, macabre lineage, where it has been used to cover up deaths that have very nefarious activities attached to it. Okay, let's try this mint chocolate latte. Doesn't taste like a lot of chocolate. It tastes like mouthwash. The coffee is not good. That's why that box is beautiful and feels wonderful. This box, I love this box. It's mint chocolate latte. No bueno. Just because that was so horrible. This is honey butter almond. What does the F stand for? Something. But this is the now mint chocolate edition. They look like little eggs, like robin's eggs. These are yummy. I think the almonds are good. The mint comes at the end. I think if they engineered that, they engineered that really well. Oh, that's good. This is good. This is fun. And this is a good deal because you just eat one and even now the flavor just keeps going. Good job. Okay, so how did they get away with fan death? What were like the theories that they kind of put behind it so that you can kind of convince people that like, oh, it could be fan death? My goodness, but they were able to. Number one, they said, oh, well, maybe it wasn't necessarily the fan, it was the asbestos. Like, it was just like spewing so much of the asbestos that, we use to build buildings. But asbestos is a long-term, chronic disease. You don't die of it immediately. So that's not the case. Then they said, oh, it might be hyperthermia, like with the fan in there, and if it's hot, maybe the temperature, your body temperature just heats up so high, and then you just kind of like explode with like too much heat, and then you die. No, that doesn't make sense either, because it doesn't happen anywhere else in the world. Then they said the opposite. They're like, oh, no, maybe your body temperature drops too much because the wind is just like chilling your body way too drastically. but it can't drop your body temperature that low. We all know, though you wish it could. And that was proven false. And then they said like, oh, maybe because like the wind is moving so much and it's like creating like a CO2 concentration that's higher than the O2 concentration, and then you eventually suffocate because there's not enough oxygen in the air. And then that was proven false, because I think they were saying like with the movement of the air, actually it helps you increase the ratio or something. So that all of these things were proven false. And plus, we would see more of these cases in other countries if this were actually true. Now, when they did do some reports, like when I looked this up, there were some news reports that were saying like, oh, these fan death cases happened, and there was one particular case of a young man who died, and there were some certain strange chemicals next to him, but the police did not investigate the chemicals. Hello, they were basically the reporter was saying like, I was forced to ignore these chemicals, but I was able to sneak this in because I was so upset at this travesty, because obviously he did not die of a fan. He probably was linked to some sort of chemical. So perhaps maybe if some people did want to end their own lives, like this was maybe a graceful way to say that, they died of some other cause, to give the family some grace. But on the other hand, we could also see it as a way of covering up wrongful deaths. And, we are still in this year of 2021 dealing with this, as we've seen from the SJM case, like a lot of instances where things do not add up, because we have a lot of avenues where we can cover up the truth. And I wanted to bring up this fan death because for way too long, even an oscillating fan was able to be the main culprit of deaths at night. So if a fan could be blamed for deaths up until definitely the modern age, you see where we're at now in 2021. Thank goodness, probably now you can't get away with that, especially since probably more because people don't have those fans, because everyone has like air conditioning. I wonder if they've come up with air conditioning death. Let's move on to ABC cookies. Now, the delivery person just through these. I mean, the coupon is amazing, but those delivery people are getting mad. And I think they are, they're rioting a bit. Ooh, look, chocolate. And then I guess this is sort of like an Oreo-ish cookie. I don't know, Plutarch want one. And it tastes like an Oreo-ish base. And then a lot of kind of the white chocolate that's mint like an Andes. Oh, ABC. Have you had the ABC chocolates? Those are really good. But I would say the chocolate on these are much better than the ABC chocolate. The mint did a good job. Almost as good as the almond mints. Chocolate quality and the mint good. Very minty, but didn't taste like that mint latte that tasted like mouthwash. Okay, let's try these almonds. These are made by Latte. Oh, they're trying to copy the fancy ones. These are dusted. I knew I had a right to be suspicious. I have a latte. Chocolate tastes cheap. waxy. Don't even taste the mint. Okay. Now, are we done with fan death? Did I make my point? Because that is a travesty. So if somebody says like, oh, how cute, fan death, you can tell them, no, that is an unfortunate part of Korean history where there have probably been a lot of people who've gone away with a lot of stuff via fan. All right, before this melts, there's been a trend now in Korea as well, probably in America, about like, the low-calorie ice creams. Oh, this has been melting. I should have done this first. So let's see how this measures up. And actually, I've tasted a few of them. They're all good. They're all good. They're all good. Except this one. That is so gross. Doesn't taste like mint, doesn't taste like ice cream, doesn't taste like chocolate, doesn't... How could it not even taste like it doesn't even feel like ice cream in your mouth? Okay, these are like the mint chocolate Choco pies. These are hardly in the stores. These like took a long time to come in. Like these were like special orders. I think there's like a run on these. Junior size. It tastes more like just vanilla. They put the coloring of mint in the marshmallows. They put a little bit of coloring in the bread part, and then the supposed, quote, chocolate part is green. This, I think, you can probably pass on as well. It's more for the novelty. I think kids would like it because of the color. But no. Okay, so basically right now, it's this, and unexpectedly, this one where they basically threw the package on the floor. The ABC Choco cookies. And the almonds. Alright, let's just try a little. I've stopped drinking, but let's try the soju, the mint Choco soju. Gosh. Yeah, we're gonna put it in a martini glass. I don't really taste the mint and chocolate, but it tastes good. God. It tastes smooth. Like, soju. Oh, okay. The aftertaste is, like soju. I don't taste the mint and the chocolate. I don't know if it's because I'm drinking it out of a martini glass, but this is like the first soju that, like, if you drank it out of a martini glass, you'd be like, I'm kind of drinking a flavored martini. So there you go. Okay, if you want to have like a cheap alternative to like martinis, try this one. Because, like the other flavored sojus, like especially the blueberry one, that's way too sweet. Maybe the grapefruit one is pretty good. You can probably get away with that and make like a flavored martini night if you want to. Although, I don't know. I mean, are people drinking less these days? I think so. I mean, who wants to drink? Okay. All right, so that was fan death. And then just really quickly, I wanted to give you kind of like an update. Like if you're a fan of I Live Alone, that entertainment show, and there's like this controversy right now of Kian 84 or Kian Palsa, and he's one of the guys on there, and he's the webtoon guy, and he had just finished a 10-year webtoon comics, and they were supposed to do like a commemoration party. They're doing like a getaway trip into like his hometown, which is probably, about an hour away without traffic, but dang, like if you can get in like some bad traffic, it took like 4 or 5 hours, to get there. So they were all supposed to go, but they kind of played a trick on him, saying that like, no, like only one guy showed up, and then it was like, boom, like kind of like a really harsh, sad, kind of like there was no humor in it. Where was the humor? And people got really upset. The viewers, they were saying like, this is such like bullying. And we've been talking about on this channel, like, when is society going to draw the line? Well, this has been a great situation where they have drawn the line, and they've even like filed a civil complaint against the show. The show has taken down the episodes on all of their online platforms, and this was NBC, and NBC is already reeling from a lot of controversies over their coverage. They're a little slightly, not even slightly, but a little bit xenophobic, racist, stereotypical coverage of the Olympics. And they are being accused of bullying. And this is a great example of people, I believe, standing up and drawing the line in society, saying like, we don't really want to put this example and give it to kids especially, but even the general public, saying like this type of behavior is okay as a joke. It is not okay. And what kind of that is so disrespectful, because this was like 10 years worth of work, and you're gonna try to diss it like that. They better watch out. It's always the quiet ones. They better watch their backs. Okay, Shiny, Mr. Key, Shiny, and then all y'all, you better watch your backs, because it's always the quiet ones. And he's already been accused. I mean, he's not perfect either, and he's already been accused of stuff. So you better watch out, guys. Anyhow, so just in case you guys have been hearing stuff about that show, because that show is so popular, it's been like on the air for such a long time, has a huge cult following, and it's like one of those feel-good shows that draws in a lot of viewers, because it kind of shows kind of like celebrity, like that's a real reality show, like showing celebrities kind of like in their kind of like just living alone moments, and just kind of real fun, setting up cameras and just seeing how they veg out at home. In a weird way, it is kind of fun. And so that was just a very unfortunate way of bullying him, and it was not a fun segment. And whoever tried to pull that stunt, well, it backfired on you. Anyhow, so that was that. So hopefully, so that was the update on the mint chocolate explosion, the fan death theory, and the truth behind it. And then, the update on I Live Alone and the controversy over the bullying incident with Keon84. All right, guys, we'll see you next time. Take care. Bye-bye.
Tune in next time. Don't forget to subscribe. Find us on YouTube, Instagram, Twitter, and Facebook. Love you.